All right, so it's my pleasure today to welcome Ariyanna Robb from Kent State University. She is the president of their student chapter there. Welcome, Ariyanna.
Hi, thank you.
So I want to just kick off our conversation today and get a little background from you, a little personal background to kind of set the stage, where you're from, how long you've been attending Kent State, what your major is, and what your future plans are.
Yeah, so I'm Ariana. So I am from about 4 hours down in Ohio in a small town called Trenton, Ohio, and a bunch of cornfields. So it's definitely a little different up here. I'm a junior in the hospitality and event management program, as you can see. And yeah, I just kind of entered during that whole COVID time period. I was a COVID senior. So I kind of don't count my freshman year because we were just kind of stuck inside. So yeah, I've been the president of our PCMA chapter for now 2 years.
Wow,
So I'm always going.
absolutely. So what are you hoping to do once you get that piece of paper from Kent State?
Yeah, so right now I like bounce back and forth all the time, but like I slowly have been getting like an answer to what I want.
Okay.
Right now, I want to go into venue management. So just kind of venue management and event planning and stuff like that.
Okay. Excellent. So so I had the chance to come visit you guys in December and meet with you and some of the other students and hear about some of the great things you're doing. So during that time, you gave me some background on kind of an interesting story on how you started with the PCMA chapter and how you ended up as chapter president for Kent State. So I'd love to hear you retell that and tell the audience how it is you ended up in chapter leadership.
Yes, yeah. So like I said a little bit before, because we were in COVID, not a lot of things were kind of happening. So as a freshman, you joined on to a just like a screen like this, like a Zoom call. And I was already interested in PCMA because I've always been involved in general. In high school, I was involved. So I was like, oh, event planning organization, might as well join. And me and my best friend, Michaela, we both joined and just kind of sat in on the Zoom calls and nothing, it just wasn't incorporated as much as we wish it would have.
Sure.
So not as much was coming out of it. And so it was completely all seniors as well. So every single member was a senior, and it came down to like the last two meetings, and we started hearing like graduation plans and all this different stuff. We were like, that is so strange. Like, I wonder if they're all graduating. We did a little research. We were like, wow, it's just us two left.
Wow.
So we then kind of talked, and we are like, we're going to have to be the president and vice president of this organization. So it was like the last meeting, and the president at the time, she asked us, like, do you guys want to be officers? And we were like, I think we have to be.
Right,
So
right. Not much
yeah.
choice.
Or the organization would have to like find completely new people in general, which was already difficult during COVID. So yeah, we took the opportunity and here we are. And we completely, since we started fresh, we're able to just like restart in general. And our advisor at the time was also her first year with PCMA the year before. So our both first years. So we kind of were just able to create a new idea of what we wanted as the organization and just try to be involved and community based as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's impressive that you were willing to step up and it's hard enough to just take the reins, as a second year student, but and during COVID and everything else. And so when I heard that story and then found out what you guys have been up to the last couple of years as we're coming out of COVID, as you and Michaela have entered leadership, I I I think it's impressive what you guys are doing. So I'd love to hear what the chapter's doing now. Increased membership, I understand, and some of the initiatives you guys have taken.
Yeah, so firstly, starting off with like the membership part, that was like kind of a nightmare for us trying to figure out how do you recruit people to be a part of an organization. We didn't know if they were still promoting PCMA to like the incoming students or anything. So we set up a whole recruitment plan during the summer. So summer of 21, I think, just completely broke down exactly how are we going to recruit, what are we going to do, what is our whole plan for this organization. And so our main things that we set out were community and experience. So with the recruiting process, I was fortunate enough to be a first year experience like teacher assistant. So I was instantly connecting with the freshmen in the program.
Mhm.
So I had them that way. And then we got couple members out of that and our liaison out of that class. That was fantastic.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, we just did a lot of like going around the classrooms and all this different stuff to try to build our group, because you can put all this time in and then not have group. And that's where our kind of biggest fear was. We set out all these different tour opportunities up in Cleveland, Akron area. We were just scared that we weren't going to get people to go to them. So fortunately we have, but yeah, along with that, we also had like the tour opportunities. So we probably average about 3 tours a semester, maybe more, just depending on like what the whole premise is. Sometimes we
Yeah.
do double days, sometimes we do different things. And we just kind of wanted to really get something out of this organization, not just, oh, you come and listen and we plan one event kind of things. We do plan our friends and family event with our other group, CMAA, so club management. And that's just like for our program in general. So that's hands-on experience. We wanted them to get real life industry experience, especially since although we specifically focus on event management, we also have people that are in culinary and have students that are in all these different things that we want them to really see what it's like from the people that they may be working for one day or different things like that. So
Right.
we definitely do a lot of tours. We actually just came back from a tour over the weekend at the IX Center in Cleveland. It was the 3rd biggest wedding show expo, and
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to have met for a class. I had to go to a smaller expo hosted by Today Bridal, and I happened to be in the same spot as the CEO or the owner, pretty much, Jim,
Mhm.
and introduced myself and instantly just pushed ourselves out there. I was like, we love a tour and all this different stuff.
Yeah.
So then we slid in and here we are. So we got to do that yesterday, which was or 2 days ago, which was great.
Yeah. That's great. And you guys have toured, you sent me a list recently and some museums in Cleveland in that area. You were even in Denver and did a couple of those things. And so really I, I want to put it out there. You guys have as students, taken the initiative on this, right? I mean, it's something you're just reaching out to these venues and saying, hey, we're interested in learning more about what you're doing and just giving yourselves an opportunity to step out and to get in a sense of the industry.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that first phone call like when you first, or email, when you first reached out to start these? Did you get any curious looks or responses, or
Yeah.
people been pretty receptive?
It was around my birthday. So it was in like July. It was like July 13th because my birthday's on the 14th. And Michaela and I had a meeting. So we had like set meetings like every 2 weeks just during the summer. And we were like, all right, so we need to just email as many people, because we had no connections at the time because we were just freshmen, didn't really talk to anybody. I wasn't from the area. Michaela was from the area, so she like knew what places were. So I was completely like, what is Cleveland? What are these places? And now I feel like I'm a master at them, which is really
Yeah.
cool. But I had no idea what these places were. So yeah, it was just a mass. We had like a document of our email that we would send out, hyping ourselves up, saying that we have a group of people when we didn't, and then
Yeah.
really just trying to put ourselves out there. And within the next like 2 days, we were getting, I think we sent maybe 30 emails, I would say, to just a bunch of just random people, random organizations, sometimes like double. We tried to get emails instead of just like the survey or like the contact us thing on like
Mhm.
websites, because
Yeah.
we didn't know who it would be linked to. We would go through LinkedIn and like look up who their event manager was and all this different stuff. So it was a process.
I
But
bet.
then like the next day I called Michaela and I was like, we have like 4 emails back, 4 tour date. Like I'm freaking out. Like this wasn't the plan. Like we were like, we overdid it. Because we just weren't expecting responses. We were expecting just like oh, sorry, or anything like that. So just another fun thing that we've like realized is there's so many places that you can just get like behind the scenes experiences of, like Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which is one that we always love. It's our biggest hit. We usually have like 20 plus students
That's a
attend.
Cavs arena, right? What a
Yes,
Cavaliers
yes.
play? Yeah.
So, and I'm a huge Cavs fan, so I was like, this is so cool to be able to like go behind the scenes of things just by a simple email. And here we are. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
involved.
No, that's great. I love the initiative. Some of myself included, some people who have been in the industry for years, I know I struggle with that kind of initiative sometimes, and the cold calling and reaching out. And it's great that you've had such good success with people who've been willing to give of their time and stuff as well. And so, do you have any more tours upcoming for the semester?
Yeah, so we have a couple outlined-ish. We just haven't found like exact days yet. So one for the Hall of Fame, for the Football Hall of Fame, so Hall of Fame
Oh
Village,
wow,
and
the
we're
one in
supposed to have a
Canton.
member. Yes, yeah, we have a member that is like cousins, I think it is,
Okay,
with somebody from their public resources. So yeah, we have that, our human resources, and then we have a couple of things outlined. It just all kind of goes into a blur.
sure. Yeah, no, that's
But yeah.
great. Yeah. So speaking of events, I had the opportunity to see you guys just a couple of weeks ago at PCMA's flagship event, Convening Leaders, just down the road in Columbus.
Yes.
And I know there were 6 students from your all's chapter that were able to attend. And so what can you tell me about that? Give me a little bit about the experience that you all had, what you got to do, and then what that means for you and for the others in the chapter, as which are, I think, anywhere from what freshmen to seniors, and so what it means for them as they're either starting their career or they're continuing on in their education.
Yeah. Well, what I could say, it was definitely an experience. We had followed along last year because we were supposed to go to Vegas, but with COVID and just the time period, it didn't allow us. So we followed along online. So we kind of knew how the platform worked. And then obviously it being down in Columbus, it was super just easy for us in
Yeah.
transportation and just knowing the area in general. I know the area pretty well. So we just kind of went full in, tried to attend as much as we kind of could, just like with still breaks. We
Mhm.
also did volunteering. So it was really great for all of us. We really enjoyed it. Definitely like one of my biggest takeaways from it was just how many jobs there really are in the industry. We obviously try
Yeah.
to highlight just small ones and all these different things, but hearing all the different like career paths that you can go into, and then also how fortunate we are as students to actually get like the schooling for the kind of program in general and like the industry in general, because a
Mhm.
lot of generations before us, we heard they just didn't have hospitality and event management because it's so new. So us
Sure.
being able to get that knowledge earlier, I feel like it's really great. And then also being just to meet other people has been great. Another just like highlight obviously was John Legend, but
Right.
which was great. But yeah, just getting, especially being able to volunteer and getting hands-on. So we volunteered at Party with a Purpose and just getting hands-on experience, meeting different people. I remember Michaela and our treasurer, we were all just standing on the side waiting, like taking a break from everything that was happening.
Yeah.
And Michaela was like, I think that was the CEO of Visit Canada. And we were like, oh my gosh, she just walked past us. So like we were just kind of like in a space of just felt like famous people that we had heard speak earlier and stuff like that. So that was just really, really cool. And then for our student takeaways in general was just, yeah, I just think we really enjoyed the experience, and we'll be able to like share this. We actually have a meeting later today, and like, being able to share this experience and our connections and stuff like that to our fellow members that weren't able to come
Mhm.
is also been like really great for us.
That's fantastic. And how many members do you now have in your chapter? I know I meant to ask that earlier. You had, it was just you and Michaela a couple years ago, and now you're up to
Yeah, I'd say we're probably up to 20 active members, or maybe like 12 active ones that are like actually going to the tours and stuff like that, but then 20 that are coming to the meetings. And then we'll see how many arrive today, since a lot of like the freshmen, you kind of give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit in the beginning because they have their first semester that's already so much. And we're just kind of here to be like, we're always here for you. Like, if you just want to drop in for a moment, take a tour, drop in for a moment, create some friends and kind of stuff like that. So we're hoping for more today.
That's great. That's great. So in just a couple of years, that's really amazing in terms of the growth you've had as a chapter, not only in memberships but in opportunities for this for you guys as students. So last piece here, the Power Chapter this week, we launched an Emerging Leaders program, and so thanks to you for you've been a big help. You've been on our leadership team for that initiative, and we're taking some of the things you guys are doing and trying to implement that into this program so that not only the students at Kent State but others around the chapter can benefit from it. So as a member of the leadership team, what do you see, or how would you like the program to be able to help out, to benefit, influence not only students but the young professionals in the chapter?
Yeah, I feel like it's just, we really want to kind of have a community outside of just Kent State. So I know for us personally, before we really knew what the Power Chapter was, we just knew we had a cool name, Power Chapter, but
Right.
we didn't like really know who they were and that there's so many people in it as well. So I think just creating that community and having us looped in there is really essential, and just like keep sending out those job opportunities or volunteer opportunities for our students to kind of see and connect to and kind of just explore a little bit can really, really assist us.
Excellent. Well, Ari, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you joining me in this interview, and I'm really excited about not only what Kent State and you guys are doing as a group, but also what our Emerging Leaders program can do to help benefit yourself and your classmates and other universities in our chapter, and other young professionals in our chapter, those who may have already graduated. But so any last words or thoughts or encouragement that you want to give?
Yeah, just keep going. There's so many opportunities out there that I guess like even we don't know exist, and just going out there and reaching for those. Like, we never would have thought to be taking a tour with the owner of one of the biggest bridal show companies and stuff like that. So just keep going out there and taking risks.
Awesome. Well, we will put your social media handles and all that in the show notes, how to get in touch with you on LinkedIn, and you're already part of the new LinkedIn group for Emerging Leaders for the chapter, and just wish you the best of luck in the upcoming semester.
Thank you. Thank you all.